Hey guys, doing well today. So yeah, in today's video we'll talk about England versus Italy for round 2 of the Six Nations. So yeah, starting off with England, obviously they are going for, you could say, a rough patch after round 1, after their defeat against Scotland. That was definitely a headache within the England heart, you could say. And yeah, no, they just didn't really perform at really their best. And it's one of those things where England will just have to recover. And to be honest, I actually don't think there's any other game except for Italy which they could actually do better at. So this is actually a great chance for them actually to pounce back again, get a win under their belts, and just move on to the next game. Yeah, no, for Italy, obviously they are coming back from a 10 to 50 loss from France at home, so they're also suffering from a home loss. So obviously both sides will really want to get their first win within this competition. So yeah, so starting off with England's starting lineup. So obviously you can see the lineups here, and yeah, no, with England, if you look at the comparison between different props as well as their hooker, England have switched everything out within their props and hooker position, which is very interesting to see. Obviously they now have in Mako Vunipola and Kyle Sinclair for their props, and Italy have also made one sub in a sense, or a replacement from the following match, and they've actually got They have more experience now with Andreas Lovati coming in at the number 1 position, and obviously they're still keeping Riccone, which I think he played. He was the better prop out of the two. He was better than Traore, in my opinion. But so I'm happy that they've kept him. But if you look at the comparison between the two, I mean, I would have to give it to England. I mean, Mako Vunipola and Kyle Sinclair are pretty much, in my opinion, England's best 2 props. So for them not to be included within the first game against Scotland actually outstanding, was bizarre in a sense. But obviously I knew that Kyle Sinclair was coming under a 2-match ban, and obviously he's okay to play now. So that's good to see. So yeah, overall, I definitely say that England win that battle. I mean, if you look at the hooker position is actually a very interesting one, and that within England they've swapped out Jamie George, which is a huge call to make because Jamie George is one of the best hookers you could say within the world, and just for Luke Cowan-Dickie to get his shot, I mean that's a huge opportunity that he'll have to pounce on, and it's one of those which he doesn't get often because Jamie George he's just done really well for England recently. So yeah, I would take this opportunity, and that's the reason why you can see here that I've actually put him within my, ones to watch player, you could say, within this match, as I've highlighted it within gold. And yeah, no, I just think he has a real opportunity to actually, I think if he does well in this match, I think England will win the game essentially. I think that if he gets at least 2 tries under his name, I think he's going to have a solid match, and that's what I'm kind of feeling within this game. But yeah, when you look at obviously Italy's hooker, I mean obviously their captain. With Luca Bigli, I mean, he played alright. I'm not going to say he was good or he wasn't bad, because obviously Italy did lose 50-10 last game, so it wasn't actually an amazing performance. But if you look at he just has a lot of experience, and that's what you kind of need within that captain position. And yeah, overall I thought he should do well. I think he'll have another good game. I mean, I hope he proves me wrong in the sense where he actually yeah, if he proves me wrong, I'll be so glad. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens within that position. But yeah, overall, I would definitely give it to. I mean, I like Luca Bigli. I mean, I'm gonna give it to him just based on experience compared to Luke Cowan-Dickie. But Luke Cowan-Dickie, I mean, he has a chance to really shine or take this opportunity. So we'll wait and see what happens there. Yeah, just moving on to the lock position. So this is another interesting take in the sense where obviously England haven't made any changes to the locks, keeping with Hill and Itoje, which I think is fair to say I think is the right decision. If you look at Hill and Itoje, I actually thought they did very well against Scotland. Obviously everyone could clearly see that Itoje was a presence in the sense where he was just blocking every single literally kick in from the scrum half, which was actually very good in a sense. And I thought Hill actually played very well as well. So I think that's something that you don't need to change as much. So that's good to see. But yeah, no, with Italy, they haven't changed their lock positions as well. So they've also gone with a similar lineup as last time. They've gone with Lazzaroni, and they've also gone with Cisse. So that's I think it's pretty simple, pretty standard, and I think it will work. I mean, that'll be a good battle, good contest there within the lineouts as well as the scrums for both the locks. But if I had to give it on experience as well as quality, I'd probably edge it towards England, obviously, with Itoje, in my opinion, still being one of the best locks within the world. So yeah, I'm going to give it to him, as well as Johnny Hope. I think he's a solid lock as well. So yeah, that's kind of it with the lock positions. So yeah, moving on to the loose forwards. Loose forwards is it's very interesting in the sense where England have made one change. Obviously, they've changed the number 6, and Courtney Lawes does come in, which I'm glad to see, because even within my last preview, I said that I was surprised that he wasn't starting, and yeah, I'm glad to see he's in the team. He makes such an impact within that England side. It's like, I was very surprised Eddie Jones didn't actually select him within the first one, but obviously there must have been a reason for it, and I'm guessing he wanted to give Mark Wilson a chance, and yeah, I can see why, but it's more or less, I think Courtney Lawes will do better within that 6th position. They also have, Tom Curry as well, and Benny Villapola, so nothing really changed there, and they should definitely pounce on that, because they'll be very efficient with the breakdown. That's my prediction there. And yeah, they should be good with that scrum as well. I mean, even if you look at Italy, Italy haven't really made any changes, I'd say, to their to the loose forward pack as well. I mean, they've kept with the exact same loose forward pack as last time against France. I mean, they have Negri, they have Meyer, and they also have Lamar. So it's more or less just, yeah, they should do pretty well. I thought that was actually one of their stronger positions, I'd say, throughout the match. I mean, France didn't win as many scrums, you could say, from penalties from the scrum as I thought, and I thought that came down to the loose forwards. That's something that they can definitely improve on, I could say, within this game. But yeah, no, other than that, I think it's just going to be another good battle within the loose forwards. Obviously, I think the one that I was very impressed with was actually Meyer. I'd say out of the 3, I thought he just did really well within that 7 role, and actually he got some good tackles to his name. But other than that, I mean, it more or less just, again, it comes down to the scoreline. They just didn't really perform to the standard that we thought they would. But anyway, for that position, I'll obviously give it to England for that. I just think that adding Courtney Lawes to it will be a big addition for them. So moving on to the backs. The backs is a very interesting one, because obviously both sides have actually made changes to it, and which I think is actually right, because that's the area which they need to score tries more from the last game for both sides. Not both sides. Italy only got 1 try to them, and England didn't get any. So this is definitely a good thing to see for both sides to actually make some changes from that area. So obviously with England they have Ben Youngs, who I think is a very solid scrum half, and then with Italy they have Stefan Varney, who I think is very good. He's a young scrum half, and I think he has a long way to go. And actually, he's someone that I thought shined, you could say, within that game against France. I mean, obviously he didn't get, I'm not gonna say shined. He just played well in that sense, where he was a good player across the match. And I do like his combination, obviously with Garbisi at 10, which I think is actually a very good combination. Obviously because they're young in that sense, and if they get to know each other more chemistry will come into there. So hopefully that's the plan, but we'll see. Yeah, I mean, there is Tomo Allen who's on the bench as a fly-off, but we'll see what happens there. But I do like that combination for the 9 and 10 spot. But then for England, obviously, they do have Youngs, and they've switched up their 10, which I think is very good. Interesting move, actually, in how they're going to deploy Owen Farrell later on to the later positions. George Ford is obviously playing at 10, so that's an interesting switch there. He's done well for England within that, in the past, obviously within the World Cup he played there at 10, and it worked out, say, to a charm. So that's definitely something, he's definitely another player to look out for England. But yeah, no, I think this might shock everyone, but I actually want to give it to Italy within this position, just because I feel like I love this. I mean, Stephen Varney and Ben Youngs. I mean, it's more or less you're going to give it to Youngs, obviously. But Varney's, I'm not going to say he's like world class, but he's a solid scrum half. Garbisi, I mean, it's just more or less like chemistry thing. But yeah, I mean, I'll say it's a draw for that one. Because obviously they don't have Owen Farrell. If they did, then I would have given it to Owen Farrell straight away. But yeah, within the center combination, though, the center is obviously where it's very interesting in the sense where England have kind of gone back to their basics in the sense, like I said before. Owen Farrell has been shifted to the 12 spot, which I find is obviously a good change in the sense, because I do think he does work there. I think it's a better combination in a sense if he's at 12. Obviously he is captain of the side once again, so that's good to see. And yeah, no, he'll be partying up in crime with Henry Slater, who I thought he was one of England's only players who, again, had a solid performance. He never lets you down in that sense where I thought he played fine, to be honest. He's one of the only players within the back line for England who actually had a decent game for them. So yeah, that definitely should be a good combination, you could say, for England. I mean, for Italy, they have switched actually both their centres. That's actually, I'm not going to say a surprise, but obviously they're trying to get new faces in there and actually try to spark more tries for the team, which I can see why, obviously. And then with their combination, they've gone with Carlo Cano, who brings a lot of experience within that position, so that's good to see. Obviously, he's coming back from injury, so that's another point of why he's coming back into the side. And yeah, just with the other, obviously, they've gone with Brex, who I think it's an interesting one, but it's more or less, I can see why they would add him to the side. And yeah, it's more or less, it's a good combination, but I wouldn't say it's better than the Owen Farrell and Henry Slade combination. I think that I just like that combination a lot, really. But yeah, moving on to the wingers. The wingers is the interesting one in a sense where both sides, I'll start off with Italy actually for this one. Italy, Monteoni, very good. He was probably Italy's standout player, I'd say, throughout that game against France. He had a lot of run meters. He just obviously he's the what is it? He's the son-in-law to Diviani. I might be wrong with that, but yeah, he has it in the family where he can step a guy very well, and yeah, he had a lot of clean breaks as well within the game. So he's definitely one to look out for, and he's the reason. And you can see here I've also put him within goal. So he's the watch guy, I'd say, for Italy within this match. I think he can do a bit of damage towards England within that 11 spot, but we'll see what happens within that position. But yeah, with England, they had to stick with Johnny May obviously and Anthony Watson as the other winger. So I do think that's something they shouldn't change, because to be honest, and I think most people would agree, that is their best combination for wingers, with Johnny May being just very quick in this sense, and Anthony Watson just having the ability to pick out spaces within the defence. So yeah, I'm not going to argue with that. I think that's just the perfect combination in that sense, and they pretty much just had an off day, you could say, the last time, but hopefully they'll get a try tonight within this game. But yeah, with Italy, obviously they've also kept with the same guy at back. They've gone with Spinato, Lucas Spinato, trying to remember that name. But no, he just had a decent game. I'm not going to say he had a solid game, but he was alright for the winger position. He didn't make too much of a name for himself in that game against France. But yeah, other than that, England, I'd say, clearly win that position for the wingers. So yeah, moving on to the last position, which is the fullback, of course. And yeah, for fullback for Italy, they truly, I thought he did well, but I'm not going to say he was impressive. I thought he did well within the high ball, but other than that, he didn't really, he didn't really do anything else that would kind of impress me. He didn't really break through the defense as much as I thought he could have. And yeah, same for Daly. He was okay with the ball up in the air. Scotland were going for that at periods of time within the game, but other than that, he had an average game, I'd say, Daly, and he just wasn't his usual self. Overall, I'll probably still give it to Daly just purely on his kicking, but other than that, it's just one of those games which we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's kind of it really, just for the teams. If I had to say who'll win the game, it will be an interesting one. Actually, this might sound weird, but I think it'll be actually closer than what a lot of people think. I don't think it'll be like the game like France. I trust me, I don't think it'll be like a 50-10 game like it was in the first round, but I do think England will win it. But I do think they'll win it only by I think the result would be 38-10. I can see it something being like that. It's just more or less I think Italy will definitely try to improve on their performance from last time. And yeah, just try not to concede as many tries. But anyway, just that's kind of it really with the video. I just hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely comment below just what you guys think of, who do you guys think will win, and yeah, just hope you guys have a solid day, and see you guys next time. So, a lot of people in the comments have been asking me recently, where do I get my Rugby Kits from? Yeah, this is one of the main places where I do get them from. Obviously, Fanatics is currently selling all of the new Rugby Kits at the moment, and especially, during the Six Nations period, they have a lot of new Rugby Kits out. Obviously there's the 150th anniversary kits for England, which is pretty cool. Obviously for England, if you wanted to, there is actually a code that is available at the moment, a new promo code, which is CATCH, so CATCH, and that gets you 25% off. So for example, if I were to look at the new England home jersey, originally obviously it was £70, but now it's actually $52 with the code CATCH. So I'll leave a link in the description for you guys to check that out. And this applies to really most of the kits that you can see. Obviously there's the Scotland kit as well, the newest addition to the pile. And yeah, same deal with the England one. Originally it was £70, but now it's actually $52. So that's a huge plus in a sense, and I think a good deal. And yeah, again, you just use the code CATCH. to get that right now. But yeah, I think the one that I'm really looking at, because I don't have it yet, is actually the Italian kit. The Italian kit is actually just one of the nicer jerseys in my opinion, and yeah, I think the fabric is actually pretty nice as well. So yeah, this is definitely one that I'm going to look at for the future. And yeah, again, same thing applies. Originally 70, now around 52.50, so that's a pretty good deal right there. But yeah, there are other jerseys, like the ones I've showed you, like the British and Irish ones, for example. It is still £75, and unfortunately you can't use the promo code on this one, but I still think it's a pretty good deal. It is the newest, British and Irish Lions kits, so I think that's a pretty good deal just to get it now. But yeah, other than that, obviously I'll leave a link in the description for you guys to see. But yeah, I definitely suggest you guys to take a look.